Hi there, it's Sarah from Prenatal Pilates, which is all about slow movement for a balanced body. And in this video, we're going to focus on prenatal Pilates. So it's fantastic news when you find out that you're pregnant, but it's also very confusing when you then start to sort of research what exercise you can do or cannot do. And you may find that a lot of people give different advice out there. And it was the same for me. So when I was pregnant with my first child, I found it was so confusing that I decided to train as a prenatal and postnatal instructor, which I then combined with my Pilates knowledge. And I have used it throughout my 2 pregnancies, and I have found it really useful. So I'm happy to share my top moves with you. Now, this particular routine is suitable for people with diastasis recti. So if you have separation of your rectus abdominis, you can still do this one. You just have to control the core and hold it in whilst you're breathing out, which I will talk you through anyway. And then the second thing is, if you are pregnant beyond 12 weeks, you can't lay flat on your back or on your front. So I've put together moves that are actually the same. We're not going to lay flat on our back or on our front. So before we start, if you've never heard of the neutral positioning of the spine and the lateral breathing, then check out our video on this topic, because you kind of do need to know these things before you start. And if you're ready, come and join me on your hands and knees. We're going to do cat curls, which is a classic pregnancy move, but I still teach it in my regular classes as well, because it's a great way to connect with your core muscles, actually, because you're going against gravity. So it's a great way of being able to pull these up. So you start from a tabletop position. I want your spine to be straight, so we don't have any hunches there or any sort of curves in that way. Straight spine. Keep your tummy in. You breathe in. When you breathe out, I want you to look at your baby. Curve the spine as much as you can. So baby is into the body as much as you can whilst lifting the pelvic floor, and then breathe in back to neutral. Breathe out. That's it. So the way that you're pulling your baby towards you is going to engage your transversus abdominis, which is the muscle group that goes all the way around your belly, which has been stretched for the baby. So this is a great way of strengthening it. And it's completely safe. One more. Make it your best one. Belly button in towards the spine, baby in, and back to neutral. Well done. Then from here, I want you to take your knees or actually take your wrist a little bit further so that you have a diagonal line from your knees all the way up to your shoulders. And you can cross your legs. You're on the fleshy bit of your knees, so it shouldn't be uncomfortable. But if it is, then you just put a blanket underneath the kneecaps there. From here, we're going to come onto the elbows into a half plank. Now breathe in. When you breathe out, belly towards you. This gets harder as the pregnancy progresses because the baby is actually adding resistance to the move. So it's getting tougher to get the baby lifted towards the spine. That's why it's a good move to do all the way through the pregnancy to make sure that you get stronger as the months go on. So this is really good for you. Never think that this is harming the baby, but just make sure that you work at your level. Now, if you were very strong before you got pregnant and you were doing full planks, then there's nothing stopping you to train with the baby on you, still doing a full plank. If you feel this puts too much strain on your back and you feel a pinch, then you come back onto your knees and you can stay here. You can take a break whenever you need to. I'm always more gentle to my prenatal members because, of course, when you're pregnant, you should be safe. Well done. And push yourself into a child pose. Relax. Because when you're pregnant, it's not the time to start pushing things beyond what you can do. You want to work within your limit and gently start building your strength. So don't worry, if you want to go crazy, there's always the postnatal period. Once you're back to your normal self, you can run the marathon you want to run, but maybe not now. That's it. So from here, come and sit up and then gently put yourself onto your side. And we're going into a side plank. So side planks are really good. They're very powerful though. So again, if it gets too hard, you take a break. You don't have to hold out as long as I do. But build it up slowly. We're doing it on our knees anyway. And then, of course, if you were very strong before you were pregnant, then you can continue doing your full planks, even when you're 40 weeks. It's absolutely fine. You just feel how it goes. Be body aware. If your body is telling you to take a break, if your breathing is out of control when you're pregnant, you take a break. Now, if you feel this is going to put too much pressure on your joints, I always say double fold your mat. It gives you extra padding. Make sure your wrist is on the mat and spread out your fingers. Now, your hips, your ankles and your shoulders are in one line. Your knees are naturally in front. I want you to lift the waist. So this is what we're going to work here. It's the waist muscles. So you lift your waist as if there was a candle and you don't want to touch the flame. You breathe in. When you breathe out, I want you to rise up. And the focus is really on getting that top hip as high as you can. So you lift from the waist all the way up. If you're not used to this, you're going to feel this mostly in your shoulder girdle. If you are quite strong in your shoulder girdle, you'll feel it more in your waist. So you may be a bit shaky, you may be a little bit feeling this because it's so powerful, but that is not harming the baby. So don't worry about just feeling the exercise, that's okay. So with the baby, you want to pull it towards you on the out breath whilst lifting your pelvic floor. If you feel any sharp pains or you get dizzy or anything like that, of course, you take a break. Now, if you're quite strong, stay here for the last few breaths. Give me 2 more. Push your hip bone a little bit higher for the last 2. 1 for the road. There we go. Well then, come onto the knees gently. Place your hands near your feet. Mermaid stretch around. So you're stretching out the area you just worked. And after that, you definitely deserve a slightly easier exercise. So come and lie down on your side. Make sure your hip bones are stacked upon each other here. Your knees are naturally in front. Now that hip bone here is not going to move. So imagine that there's maybe a cup of tea on there. You're not going to spill it by rocking. Instead, you're going to open your legs like a book. So open the cover of the book and back down. So it's a really good stretch. You're targeting your glutes there. It's a nice hip opener. And also, I've done quite a few prenatal classes, and this is kind of a very, very popular one that many pregnancy classes offer. Because it keeps also a little bit of openness in the hips and in your glutes, which you need for your lower back. So when you're pregnant, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your lower spine. So making sure that you get stronger whilst your belly grows is actually a very smart thing to do. Last one. And then slide out. We're going to go to the other side. So gently come up. Get your legs the other way around. Come into your side plank. So again, your ankles, hips, shoulders, one line, knees are naturally in front. Your wrist is flat on the mat. You press all your fingers into the mat. If you need more padding there, double fold your mat and lift from the waist. Now, breathe in. When you breathe out, rise up. This is definitely hard work, so if you find it too hard, you don't stay as long as I'm staying here. It depends on how strong you were before. If you feel this is too easy, well, you may be doing full planks when you were not pregnant, so then you can continue. Give me 3 more. So breathe out, pull in the baby towards the spine, lift the pelvic floor, let go, pull in the baby towards the spine, that's it. Last one. That's it, and gently come onto the knees, take your hands near your feet, round. And then you deserve a little break, a slightly easier exercise. Come and slide yourself down, make yourself nice and tall in the torso. Your knees are slightly bent at the front there. Right, hips stay open and they stay on top of each other, but keep the balance here. So imagine there's a cup of tea here. You're not going to sway the hips there. Breathe in. When you breathe out, you just open them up like a book. So breathe out at the top, pull in. That's it, breathe in. That's it. So we're looking for a little bit of tension in your glutes, which is your bum cheeks. When you're pregnant, a lot of the muscles can tighten and it can actually cause back pain. It can also cause pelvic pains, although pelvic pains can be for a variety of reasons, but it's always good to experiment and see if this works for you, even if you have a little bit of pelvic pain. Last one. Well done. Sit yourself up safely. That's it. So come onto hands and knees. Hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, and then walk your hands towards your knees. Bring your toes under. Keep your hands on the mat for as long as you can and start straightening out. That's it. Breathe in. When you breathe out, start rolling up. Don't push your hips back. Keep your tummy in. Hold the baby towards you. Pulling in the pelvic floor. Stack one on top of the other, your vertebrae, all the way up. Head will lift, shoulders will drop. Well done. So great, I would say do this routine little and often, making sure that your muscles get stronger as the belly grows, because when you're full term, you will have a 10-kilogram baby, well, hopefully not the baby, just a bump on top of you, which actually is a lot of weight for the body to carry. So strengthening the body along the way will really be beneficial. And although I can't guarantee you an easy birth, I really wish I could, it will be definitely beneficial for your postnatal period, where actually you already have a strong body and the recovery will be much quicker. So keep it up, enjoy it in the meantime, and check out our other videos and sign up with our social media channels, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.